North Korea, a country that has fascinated, mystified, and at times terrified the world. Is it a rogue state, a secretive dictatorship, or something much more complex? Today we'll explore the untold truths about North Korea, its history, its politics, its people, and what life is really like behind the Iron Curtain. To understand North Korea today, we have to look back at its roots. The Korean peninsula was once unified, but after World War II, Korea was divided along the 38th parallel. The Soviet Union controlled the north, and the United States controlled the south. In 1950, the Korean War broke out, with North Korea, led by Kim Il-sung, attempting to reunify the peninsula under its communist regime. The war ended in 1953 with an armistice, but no official peace treaty was ever signed, leaving North and South Korea technically still at war. Kim Il-sung, the first leader of North Korea, established a cult of personality that continues to this day, with his grandson Kim Jong-un at the helm. Under his rule, North Korea became one of the most isolated nations in the world, adhering to a strict ideology known as juche, or self-reliance. North Korea is, in many ways, a hereditary monarchy, but not in the way we typically think. The leadership has remained in the hands of the Kim family for over 70 years, with each successor tightly controlling the government and military. Kim Jong-un, the current leader, is the third generation of his family to rule. While many of his predecessors built North Korea's nuclear arsenal and enforced the regime's brutal policies, Kim Jong-un has continued the legacy, consolidating power through fear and intimidation. Under Kim Jong-un's rule, North Korea has dramatically expanded its nuclear weapons program, which has sparked international sanctions and global concern. But despite its threats, the regime remains firmly in power, thanks to its iron grip on the country. On the surface, North Korea can appear like any other country. Pyongyang, the capital, is home to impressive architecture, beautiful parks, and grand monuments dedicated to the Kim family. But beneath the facade lies a dark and often brutal reality. Life in North Korea is heavily controlled. The government monitors every aspect of its citizens' lives, from their careers to their personal beliefs. There's no freedom of speech, and dissent is punished harshly. The concept of a thought crime exists, where anyone suspected of anti-regime behavior can be imprisoned or even executed. North Korea has one of the largest prison camp systems in the world, with an estimated 80,000 to 120,000 people detained in horrific conditions. Families can be sent to these camps as punishment for their relatives' perceived crimes, ensuring that loyalty to the regime is absolute. One of the most striking features of life in North Korea is the extent to which the government controls its citizens' perception of the outside world. Propaganda is everywhere, from the images of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il in every home, to the state-run news outlets that repeat the same message day after day. State media broadcasts show the country's military prowess, portray Kim Jong-un as a near-mythical figure, and often focus on demonizing the United States and South Korea. Foreign media is strictly controlled, and most North Koreans have no access to the internet or international news. But even within this tightly controlled society, a black market exists. People risk their lives by trading goods, often in defiance of government policies. This underground economy, along with increasing information from the outside world, has slowly begun to erode the government's absolute control. North Korea's military, particularly its nuclear weapons program, is central to the regime's survival. The country conducts regular missile tests, claiming them as both a defensive measure and a show of strength. The leadership insists that these weapons are necessary to deter foreign aggression. While sanctions from the United Nations and countries like the United States have targeted North Korea's nuclear program, the regime has remained defiant. Kim Jong-un's government has shown no signs of slowing down its pursuit of nuclear weapons, even at the expense of its people's well-being. Despite repeated diplomatic efforts to denuclearize the peninsula, the situation remains tense, and while talks between the United States and North Korea have taken place in the past, little progress has been made in terms of peace or disarmament. North Korea is a land of contradictions, a place where fear and loyalty coexist, where military might and suffering go hand in hand, and where the past continues to shape the future. The question is, what's next for North Korea? Will it remain the isolated enigma it is today, or will it one day open its doors to the world? No one knows. But one thing is clear: the regime, under the control of the Kim family, is here to stay, for now. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth videos about the world's most fascinating countries.